Shabbat Shalom. How exciting is this? We are here tonight for liberation. We're here to liberate ourselves from the cold and from the cynicism and the depression and the bad feelings and the medium feelings and the not so good feelings. And we're going to try and liberate ourselves from all of that and find some good feelings. Some good feelings. Yes. Yes. Renee says yes. We are, my name is Misha Shulman. I am the rabbi here at the new Shul, which is wherever we end up, like this. This is really one of my favorite nights of the year, and it has grown to become one of the best examples of what we're trying to work on at the Shul, which is to say that music and spirit and who you are part of one whole that influence one another and get expressed in some holistic way together. We are blessed with a number of people and events and mishigas in the world today. Yeah, the first blessing I would like to mention is that we are blessed with the return of a healthy Frank London over here. Frank's recovering from a cancer treatment, and tfu, thank God. I'd like to invite you all to say 3 words in Hebrew with me, and Frank, you too, which are Baruch, Rofeh, Cholim. Baruch Rofeh Cholim, blessed is the healer of the sick. Amen. We're also blessed with this wonderful friend of mine over here, Arnan Raz. Arnan will introduce himself in a little bit and introduce the musicians, but my little intro to Arnan, Arnan has been teaching the kids at the New Shul and the School for Creative Judaism for at least a decade now, I think, a long time, as he develops his beautiful and interesting career as a jazz musician. This year, finally, I managed to convince him to become the assistant director of the School for Creative Judaism. Yes. After many years of pressure, he succumbed, and now the school is looking better. Arnan grew up on a kibbutz in the north of Israel, and that song that you just heard is one of the numbers in an album of his of old Israeli classics from the kibbutzim. Yeah, this one was called Shir Leil Shabbat, a song for Shabbat evening. Yeah, so that is our welcome into this Shabbat. And before we light the candles, I'm just going to bring up what might be the main dilemma of the evening, or the main philosophical question, which is this. It has to do with what's happening this week in the world. So first of all, we know that I can actually share some news with you all that just a couple hours ago, the Israeli government officially affirmed the ceasefire agreement in Gaza. And this means that there is a very high likelihood that after this long 15 months, the first 3 hostages will be released on Sunday, and we will, God willing, see them come home, and we'll also see the horrendous suffering of the people of Gaza stop. Or if not stop, because there's a lot to rebuild there, at least shift to the next stage. There's a lot of happiness, I think, for me anyways. There's a lot of joy and relief in the room, but there's a lot of anxiety in this moment. The Torah portion this week ends with Moses coming to Egypt and telling the Israelites, I'm here and we're going to be liberated. And they have to then wait and watch and see it play out. That's the moment we're in. This is exactly where we're in. We're hopeful and dreadful. So we are here to pray for that liberation. And then we have this other crazy coming together. You might call it a superstorm, which is that on Monday, we mark two things, right? What are the two things we mark? Martin Luther King and the inauguration. Martin Luther King Day and the inauguration. When I mentioned the philosophical question at the heart of this evening, the question is, what the hell? Why did these two events cosmically come together? Why? Right, yes. Why? Oh, so I'm going to tell you why, Renee. Yeah. Renee over here is the most joyful Holocaust survivor I know. You are. You're really. It's an honor to have you in our congregation, and she asks that question. And so, how could I not answer?
Thank you so much.
My answer is this. I'm going to answer, and really, I promise I will not talk your ear off all evening long. It's just going to be this mainly this initial one. Yeah. Here's my answer. I was at Frank's the other day, and we were talking about John Zorn. Yeah, people know John Zorn. So John Zorn, yeah. John Zorn, avant-garde jazz musician, spent decades just making jazz, and at some point in his career, he decided he's going to start something called the Center. Is it the Center for Radical Jewish Music?
Radical Jewish culture.
Culture, sorry, yes. Radical Jewish culture. All of a sudden, he's like, no, I'm going to make radical Jewish culture. Yeah? And so he was asked, why, what's up with that decision to suddenly go Jewish? It's a real question. I think it's a real question for all of us. Why do we, especially in the arts, why do we suddenly start doing that? And he answered that it is an exploration of who he is. Who he is. There was a piece of who he is that he felt unexplored as yet. And I would say that Martin Luther King, the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., has a lot to do with, at the core, who we are. I think that these next 4 years in the desert are these next 4 years, up until this moment, we were working on things that you know what they were not for me? They were not justice. I had stopped. The word justice for me had become, I didn't even want to hear about it. I wanted survival. That's personally, I was working on survival, on the planet's survival, and my people's survival, and the survival, just keeping it together. And now this is an opportunity to really think, what is it at our core? Who are we that we actually want? And I think that Martin Luther King's legacy is a lot of what we really deeply want. We want true equality. We are looking for peace and justice. And I hope that tonight can be an opportunity for us to come back to our core belief in peace and in justice for every human being, all people, at the core of the Reverend's teaching was peace, which is not the absence of war, but the presence of equality and justice. And with that, yes, we can snap. You could do whatever you feel like doing. And with that, I'd like to bring in Shabbat. And I'd like for that to invite the director of this wonderful museum that we get to be in tonight, Shul Kurian. Yes, so I'm gonna.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome, everybody. I am the interim executive director of this amazing space. This is an absolute joy and an honor to participate with you and partake of this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Come, I'm gonna ask you to come over here. No, you can do it. You can improvise.
I can improvise. Good. That's what jazz is all about.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת.
Daphna, you want to help me? Try to sing with us. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש. שירו לאדוני כל הארץ. שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני, שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני, שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני, שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני, שיר חדש. This is Julia Chen on the piano. Frank London on the trumpet. Very happy to have him. We have Scott Kohlberg on the bass. Peter Menheim on the drums. And Pablo Eluchans on the congas. This band I get to play every few months around Brooklyn and Manhattan, and I'm very happy about this connection of like my workplace and then my night band, my jazz band, being here. I'm not used to explain so much, but I do think that a bit of context will help here. We are trying to kind of like make a jazz synagogue here. We want to pray and play jazz at the same time, if that's possible. Yeah. Similar to what John Coltrane did in A Love Supreme. So we are taking text from our Jewish traditions of Kabbalat Shabbat and placing them on songs and melodies taken from previous albums by me and Frank. That's what we try to do right now. We took Shiru Adonai and placed it on one of my melodies. We're going to also play some jazz standards you might know, one by John Coltrane as well, and try to place all our Jewish text as much as we can. The next one we're going to do instrumentally. It's also an old Israeli song. Maybe Misha and Daphna and Jonathan would know it. It's called Yefe Nof, which is beautiful environment or nature, beautiful nature.
when we started Jazz Shabbat 2 years ago, this is the third one, it was really the brainchild of Zaire Baptiste and me together. We kind of, here, come on out. Yeah. Zaire and I figured out what this is supposed to be and started playing. And a tradition has developed that Zaire, we hear some words with the music from Zaire. And so I pass it on. What we're working on here is we took a psalm from the Kabbalat Shabbat liturgy, the Friday evening liturgy, that talks about creation and we're going to improvise a little bit. So I'm going to pass it on to Zaire, and the band's going to accompany him with another one of Arnan's tunes.
I sing a new song to you, and the earth sings too. I sing, and my song blesses your unsayable name. Day by day, announcing the utter presence of things. Day by day, evoking your glory among the nations. Calling forth your miracles and among all the people. You are each place and each thing. You are nowhere and nothing. No praise and all praise. No words and all words. Touch this. For it is beyond what is seen and what is known, inconceivable, you of the eyeless heaven. Grandeur and majesty surround you, who are scored and marked with light. Everyone listen. Recognize the light and this power. Bathe your face in the luminous circle of its namelessness. Place your body there, marking of it a gift. I offer you this life in the beauty of the dappled world, trembling before you, earth's utter presence. Saying fearlessly aloud, among the nations, God alone gives sovereignty and the world is unshakable. Existence is just.
We're going to get some more of Zaire towards the end of the night. But now we're going to do one that we can all sing together. This has become our classic Lecha Dodi for Jazz Shabbat. It follows Autumn Leaves. Yeah, I think you guys can all catch it. The words are Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Come, my love, towards the bride. Let us go welcome Shabbat.
Lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala Shabbat nekabela. Shamo וזכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו
אל
המיוחד.
אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
אדוני
אחד ושמו אחד. לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת לקבלה. יונתן, בוא קצת. אבל חכה שנייה. גוט ויetnam, אתה עוזר עם השמע? רגע, עם השמע של Coltrane. Right. We're doing Coltrane's Shma now. Yeah. I don't know if even he knew that he had a Shma. But before we do Coltrane's Shma, let's just close our eyes and just sit in the silence for a few seconds.
This is John Coltrane Equinox, and we're gonna sing the Shma that you probably know. Shema
Shema Israel
Adonai
Adonai
Eloheinu
Eloheinu
Adonai
Adonai
Echad Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad. One more time. Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad. Last time. Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad. Ready with the Shma? Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad. One more time. Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad. Adonai Adonai Echad. Adonai Adonai Echad.
We got two more tunes for you guys that we want to play, but before that, I'd like to ask you all to stand up, turn around, say hi to somebody, introduce yourselves. Now that you know each other, now that you know each other a little bit, I'd like to suggest, this is optional, but I'd like to say a prayer for a number of different. Right. Can folks hear me in the back? You guys all done chatting? Okay, okay. The next request is optional, is what I said. Extra credit, Barbara says. I'd like to say a prayer for a bunch of different people and populations that need some prayers. And my feeling is that our prayers might be more effective if... My feeling is that our prayers might be more effective if we are united by some kind of physical connection. So my non-obligatory suggestion is that you give your hand to somebody, or put your arm around someone, or something. Give them some love. Yeah. Now, in this prayer, I would like to pray for. I'd like to pray for the safety of the hostages in Gaza. I'd like to pray for the safety of all of the people in Gaza, and for the safe return home to whoever's home is still standing, and that this begins our road toward rebuilding. At the demonstrations in Israel for the release of the hostages, one of the things that keeps coming back is this chant that says, bring them home, bring the women, bring the children, bring the men, bring the elderly, bring everyone. And so I want to channel that very beautiful, powerful sense that everyone, every single person deserves a home, including in our city, all of the people who do not have homes, the tens of thousands of people in this very city that don't have a home to sleep in. And I want to include them in our prayers as well. And I want to pray for every single person living in this country of ours, that they are safe, that we all do the work to protect our brothers and our sisters, and that a great brotherhood and sisterhood and peoplehood emerges that keeps all of us in this universe, all of us in this world, all of us in this country, all of us in this state, all of us in this city, and all of us in this room safe and good. I'm going to say the words of the prayer for peace for Shabbat. I'm going to ask you to affirm the three parts of the blessing with these three words in Hebrew, Ken Yehi Ratzon. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha ve'yichuneka. May the light of the divine protect you and give you wisdom. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom. May peace fill your being and guide you through life. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Amen. Toda Rabba. And I'm going to ask you to take a seat, and we're going into our prayer for peace that Arnan wrote especially for this evening. Oseh Shalom.
Yaseh shalom.
Before our last number, I'm happy to invite Judy Miner, the Shul Vaad Presidente.
Hi, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for being here. And in addition to seeing many familiar faces, there's also a lot of new people here, and we welcome you, and we're so grateful you're here. I just wanted to say quickly that for those of you, especially who are new, this is how we roll. We are true to our name. We try to find new ways to experience the old. And the synagogue was founded by a community of artists, and it is propelled forward mostly by artists. And we love what we do, and if this has meant something to you, we're thrilled. If you've ever hung out with a bunch of artists, you know that what they don't have is cash. We have an embarrassingly small staff that is extraordinary in what they do. We run on a shoestring budget. I am on the inside, and I still don't know how we pull off what we do, but we do because we love it, and we love being able to create extraordinary events like this for you. So please, everyone on your seat, you saw, look how high-tech we are. There's a QR code. That'll take you right to our website. Any kind of contribution you can make, we're really grateful. All the cliches are true. There's no such thing as too small of an amount. They all add up. But I want to be clear that we're also open to larger contributions at any time. I want to thank everyone who made this night possible, especially to Arnan and Arnan Raz, especially, for this extraordinary evening. In addition to being a brilliant saxophonist, he was also my son's Hebrew tutor, so there you go. And I just wanted to mention an upcoming Shabbat. We've got lots of exciting things you can find out on the website, but we have an upcoming Shabbat on Friday, January 31st. I need my third hand. We have two different things going on that night. We have an Upper West Side, not quite as far up as this, but we have an Upper West Side Shabbat being led by our own Daphna Moore, and with lots of brilliant musicians. Those of you who have been with us for High Holidays, you know Saskia Reeves, who plays bass, and Yuval Leon on percussion, and our dear music director, Jonathan Gutfeld. Everyone is welcome to this. The seed of this is members of our community who came from Benenu. And there's an optional dinner and wonderful company and wonderful music. And also there is a living room Shabbat going on at a member's home in Brooklyn. The Shabbat dinners are small and absolutely wonderful. It is potluck, but there's a curator, so it's not like someone brings napkins and there's 7 tuna casseroles. It's all worked out, and it is delicious and wonderful and communal, and there's music and there's discussion, and we'd love you to sign up for one of those as well. Anyway, thank you for joining the new Shul. Thank you for being a part of the new Shul, and let's hear some more music. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. That tiny staff she mentioned, I think, are worth mentioning. This is Itamar over here. Yeah, toda Itamar. He's our administrative director, and the truth is that the connection between Zaire and me would have never come about without the wonderful executive director, Susan Meyer. So thank you, Susan. Thank you so much. Arnan's going to introduce the musicians one more time, and then we're going to hear a final number called Let There Be Peace by Frank London, and it's going to be accompanied with words by Martin Luther King, spoken by Zaire Baptiste.
Please give it up one more time for Julia Chen on the piano. Julia Chen. Scott Kohlberg on the bass. Scott Kohlberg. Peter Menheim on the drums. Peter Menheim. Pablo Eluchans on the congas and percussion. Pablo Eluchans. Frank London on the trumpet. Frank London.
Arnan Raz.
Thank you.
Good evening, Shabbat Shalom. This is from Martin Luther King's speech in Dartmouth in 1962. Now, a little context before we start. There's so much love in this room, love amongst family, love amongst friends. And even seeing that much love, we look at the world and we can sometimes say there is a lack of love. And so we, myself and Rabbi Misha, were looking for some poignant things from Dr. Martin Luther King. And we didn't want to recite the speeches that have been heard so many times, so we found some things that are truly profound from him that speak about love. And he said, there are three words in the Greek language for love. One is the word eros. Eros is a sort of aesthetic love. Plato defined it as the yearning of the soul for the realm of the divine. It has come to us to be, in a sense, romantic love. And so we all know about eros. We have experienced it, and we read about it in all of the beauties of literature. But then the Greek language talks about philia, which is another level of love. It is a sort of intimate affection between personal friends. On this level, you love because you are loved. You love those people that you like to be with, to talk with, that you have things in common with. In other words, philia is friendship. language comes out with another word, agape. Agape is more than aesthetic or romantic love. Agape is more than friendship. Agape is creative, redemptive good for all men. It is an overflowing love which seeks nothing in return. Theologians would say that it is the love of God operating in the human heart. When one rises to love on this level, he loves even the person who does an evil deed while hating the deed that the person does. And Martin Luther King said, and I think this is what Jesus meant when he said, love your enemies. And I'm happy that he didn't say, like your enemies, because it's pretty difficult to like some people. It's pretty difficult to like somebody bombing your home or threatening your children or seeking to destroy you. It's pretty difficult to like them. But Jesus says, love them, and love is greater than like. Love is understanding, creative goodwill for all people. And I believe firmly that it is this kind of love that will lead us on through this period of transition and make it possible for us to achieve the real society of brotherhood. Before I hand this back to Rabbi Misha, I just want to give you a little bit more context. When we first started to try to come up with what the Jazz Shabbat would become, we were talking about some innovative ways to have a Shabbat. And we started in Brooklyn in an art gallery that I have there. And we were just trying to find really like innovative ways to celebrate the Shabbat. And I am always in awe of what Rabbi Misha has been able to come up with. You know, even this evening, we had been talking all week about putting together some things around Martin Luther King and the Shabbat, being that it was coming up, and then trying to find quotes that weren't readily used, that you didn't hear much. So we went on a search all last week, and we were trying to find some things that were profound, that spoke to the times, and I have to say thank you to the whole new Shul and everybody that came out here this evening. And I've been a board member at the Jazz Museum for the last year, and it's been an incredible ride finding these kinds of spaces and creating this kind of innovation and community, which is what we've always been trying to do. Find how, instead of separating, how can we be inclusive? How can we create community? How can we learn from each other? How can we do things together? Not just learn from each other and do things separately, but how can we do things together? And I thank our new interim executive director, Sushil Kurian, here as well, for seeing that vision through. And I look forward to doing more things with the new Shul.
I'm going to ask you to please rise and to think of someone you love who has passed and to bring them into this room as we say the mourner's Kaddish. and think especially about those who've passed in this past year or during this time of year. And I invite you to say the words with me if you know them. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתגדל וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריך הוא לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיה, היא תעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. We'll have to pretend. Okay. We have Jonathan's wine. Thank you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafel. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המוציא לחם מן הארץ אמן. תודה רבה לארנן רז. תודה רבה פרנק, תודה ג'וליה, תודה סקוט, תודה פבלו, תודה פיטר, תודה סושיל, תודה זעיר, תודה Elijah doing the sound. תודה רבה. Thank you all so much. Who did I forget somebody? תודה לדפנה, תודה ליונתן. Who else needs a תודה? תודה רבה לכולם. שבת שלום!